Referee Gavin Reynolds says play on in the Holden Cup action here from McDonald Jones Stadium. On a big day of league on Fox League. Knights early have decided to shift the ball quickly and move them around already. You can see the interchange of passes there. Keep an eye out for the 6 for the Knights, Jack Johns, the son of Matthew. He is a key indicator for the Knights. Here is Tuolo Talava. He's a barber by trade, Eddie. They're looking to carve into them today. They play the ball 30 metres out. Speaking to Todd Lowry, he said, we're going to take the game to them. They know what the challenge is. Birch out a dummy half. On to Hosking, who is the workhorse, like his father, David. A little bit different shape, plays the same type of footy. Now John's on the last tackle, a spiral bomb up into the sun. It's going to bounce as well. You can see that sun's a factor and it bounces into touch on the far side.
Yeah, it was a great kick by Jack Johns. I'd like to see him push up on the advantage line. He's a little bit deep there, which takes all his chasers out and puts them offside. You heard the referee call them all offside. So Jack Johns probably had a chance there with a good set to be able to push up and kick on the front foot. You see there to the left-hand side, all offside. So lucky that they didn't get a bounce, but a nice steady start from the Newcastle Knights.
Plenty of Johns is around here today too on Old Boys Day. I know Matthew and Andrew are here. Bit of news for them. I think Parramatta might be a little bit of interest there in Jack Johns. So it'll be interesting to see where these youngsters progress into after the end of this season. And that is another key factor for these players. They're trying to impress to get contracts. Now it's the Sharks who've done this well all season coming out of their own end. Lumi plays it. Rolling down the centre. Magoulias it is. It took an eternity to get off him there, and the penalty comes on the back of it.
Yeah, they can't do that today. The Knights, they give easy possession to this Shark side, who have no problem scoring points. They're going to find touch and have a set in the Newcastle half early on.
Yeah, you're right. You just can't. If you give them too much possession, they're very, very potent. They've proven that all year. We've seen their attacking prowess, and here it is now with an offload. Quickly, they want to move the ball. They get to a good position in the field, 32 metres out. Metcalf plays it. Quickly up into the advantage line of the Newcastle Knights as the Sharks. Magoulias, who's been a real worker for them, the skipper. Great field position to attack on both sides of the ruck. They come to the left. Short pass. Well read there by the Knights. Wilton it was. Another feature of Johns' football is his defence. Good interchange between the big boys. Close to the line, the Sharks challenging the Knights' defensive line. Vasquez plays it. Deep out, throws the dummy, that little half-back, and he'll score, Flanagan. Sold it to him on the outside. The Knights fell for it, and first points to the Sharkies.
Oh, great work from Kyle Flanagan. He sees that there's a quick play the ball, and he goes straight over the advantage line, and the gap was just too big from the Newcastle Knights defence. Throws the dummy. You see here, great quick play the ball from the forwards, tipped on in the middle, and he just swings around. Late movement out the back. He knows he's coming. Throws the dummy. Steps straight through. Some lazy defenders on the inside from Croker. And it's going to be 6-0 to the Sharks.
You could see the Knights' defence on that left-hand side. They were screaming for numbers. Lockery knew that they were short and just has that great awareness, that visual awareness of where to put himself. You can see why he scored 18 tries already this season. Make that 19 now.
Well, it's just great game management from Kyle Flanagan. He comes around there. You could see on the replay, he really stands behind the ruck and waits to see where the numbers are. And because it was a quick play the ball, he could actually push up on the advantage line like we saw, throws the dummy to the outside runners and scores next to the post. And his dad, who's sitting on the sideline watching this game, was pretty happy with that one.
Is he a nervous type dad when he watches Kyle play?
I've watched him down there. I've had Shane Flanagan as a coach in the under-20 system, and he watches every play. He loves his rugby league. He's a great father, a great role model, and a great coach. And you can see down there he's got the knees going and he's up and in and out of his seat. So great start from the Sharks.
Isn't it great to see on Father's Day? Dad can sit in the sun on the sideline in Newcastle and watch his young fella just continue to rack up the points, and he adds the extra 2 points, and not the start the Knights wanted, but certainly the one the Sharks want, leading 6-0 after 4.5.
Well, they had a good set, the Knights, coming out of trouble off the kickoff. They really powered through. They had an early shift to Cooper, so he got involved, one of their key men. They just gave away a silly penalty and then weren't able to defend their own line. So look for them to try and bounce back here, and Todd Lowry would be saying, don't worry about the end result, boys, just worry about the process.
Absolutely, you spoke about it at the time. That sun playing a factor there. You can see up in that sun Metcalf had to put the hand up to block it. Beautiful conditions in Newcastle. We'll see plenty of the Knights 97 boys on show today, a 20-year reunion here at the ground. One-on-one steal attempt there. The Sharks have made space on the edge of that. Wasn't able to come up with the ball, and Lumi makes it to 40 metres out from his own line. He just wanted to get more positive field position. Plenty of directions out there from Flanagan. Pointed to where he wants his team to get to. And now they shift out the back. Short pass to Metcalf, hitting the back rower in Kiora. The young junior Kiwi makes some more advancement into the Knights' defensive line. They come back centre field. Big bumping run there. Birch just recalling out of the tackle. It's a handful, Big King. Now they've turned the football over, a mistake by the Sharks.
Well, it was a good set from the Sharks. They went side to side, had a little shift there, and Nakora straight over the half for the Newcastle Knights, but they come up with an error towards the back end of their set. And John Morris won't be happy with that, because when you're getting ready to go in the finals, you want to just have some rhythm with everything. You want to be getting to a kick, creating some pressure, and right there, they didn't get to the end of the set.
He spoke about that too, what hurt them last week. The penalties, 12 and 13 errors. And the Knights are sort of side that'll take advantage of that dark running a good line in. Good shot by Ua. And over the top, the big front rower in Vasquez. Now the Knights just playing a bit of football. You'll see Birch around the ruck all days, and when Luke Huth comes on, they tend to make some really good inroads, the Knights. Now Hosking, good field position, 35 metres out. Lockery showing it inside and out. McIntyre now with the ball. He is a key on that lead line there on the left-hand side for the Newcastle Knights. Lockery went down a short side, tough spot to kick from, brings it back infield. Oh no, the Sharks have turned it over. Mistake there. It looked like it was pretty straightforward, but it was a knock on. Should it have been a penalty?
Oh, I think so. Kyle Flanagan was actually running an escort here and is in front of the player when they knock it on. Well, that's a penalty. That is a penalty.
Absolutely. It's not the start that Bessie Afunga Tumunga wanted at fullback.
No, it was a nervous start, and if I was a halfback still out there, I'd be going straight back to him.
Bessie might see some more bombs up in that sun today. It's a real factor, this bright sunshine early. Now the Knights get their first opportunity in good ball. And Curtis Dark charges in on the first tackle. You can see the Knights halves pointing to the posts, particularly Lockery. But a sequence sets that up. Croker with a good ball onto Hosking. He's got some talent, this young front rower in Croker. Hosking now plays it. Right in front of the upright, set up to the left-hand side. Wide to Lockery, out the back to Cooper. Good hands to Dennis. Corey Dennis goes to the line and scores. He's got first-grade experience and he's showing it early here for the Knights, Corey Dennis.
Oh, great play from the Newcastle Knights. It was that man Croker who tipped on and just got a quick play the ball. But just watch the ball from Birch out of dummy half. It was on the money, right out in front. Lockery just doesn't chew up all the space. Cooper quick hands. And Dennis, he's too big from there. He's too strong. Crashes over, and they needed that, the Knights. It was a beautiful ball from dummy half Birch. And then obviously the key pass from Cooper, but it's nothing better when you're out there. You've got a big play or sweeping play, and you get it out in front. Everyone moving in the same motion. And that's why they scored the try, the Knights.
Clayton Ua come in to try and shut it down. The speed for the Knights was just too good for him on the outside and couldn't shut down the play.
Well, again, the pass beats 4 players on the inside there, and they have to work out hard, and then Ua comes in, and he's just a little bit late. So, interesting kicking change here. Jack Johns is usually the kicker for Newcastle Knights.
Curtis Dark it is that's taking over the opportunity here. He has got an injury, Jack Johns, and that's probably the answer to that. Strikes it nicely, though, the back rower, and he adds the extra 2 points. And it's back locked up at 6-all. It's an interesting time for Corey Dennis. Played a lot of first grade last year as a youngster. He's a Lakes United junior. Hasn't seen any first grade this year. He needs to keep impressing in this grade to keep his footy journey going.
Oh, definitely. Nathan Brown's obviously seen the talent there, and that's why he has played first grade. But it'd be disappointing for him not to play first grade this year. He's going to have a big off-season and really work on some things that Nathan Brown would like to see before he goes back in that top grade. But it was a great strike back from the Knights. Lockery, Afa Tuamanga, an easy drop there, so continue to go back to him.
He'll be seeing some traffic, won't he?
Well, it was the chase from Hosking who put the pressure on, really. A kick is only as good as its chase, and right there, Hosking put the pressure on, and that's why they got the result.
Great charge from the kick restart for Croker. He's a Brian Carlson medalist, which has got a real prestigious history here in Newcastle in the junior grades. The under-18s, he comes through at the end of that and stepped into Holden Cup quite nicely.
We can see Cooper around the ruck there getting his hands on the ball as Johns finds Dark down on this right-hand side.
Now it's Gibbs that's able to split him. He's been one of the key attackers for the Knights. Still going. A real handful to pull down.
Take it back to the mark.
A little bit unlucky there. You thought maybe a penalty on the back of that, but probably the right decision by the referee, Gavin Reynolds. Now they go centre field. Dark got the ball onto Hosking. Hosking will play at centre field. They're set up to the left again. He's thought the Knights would throw some footy at him. They're prepared to do that. Sam McIntyre on the lead run. Fifth tackle option, really deep back to Johns once again. Most of his runners will be offside. Corey Dennis is onside. This time he gets it right, Afunga Tumanga.
Well, again, Jack Johns, he's too deep. He needs to be able to push up there on the advantage line. He's just taking all his chasers out of play. So get the message down, get it on the run, and you can actually put it a little bit higher and get closer as the Sharks are going to come to an edge. But I'd like to see the Knights, Frankie, just get an offload and then let the ball go. They're trying to just take up the space at the moment. I think if they get an offload and pass, you'll find some more errors around the ruck there for the Sharks.
Play a little bit more what's in front of them. Now it is the Sharks trying to reset that platform. Now they're playing some footy on the edge. Metcalf sees space. Quick hands. Beautiful hands by the Sharks. Ua to the outside, and Lockery comes and cuts down the legs. Beautiful interchange of passing by the Sharks. Fifth tackle. Metcalf going for the floating type bomb. It'll bounce here. Danger signs for the Knights. Gibbs has knocked that on, I think, for the Knights. Yeah, they need to try to get that one on the full, I think, the Knights.
Oh, no communication at the back there for the back three, and then Gibbs comes up with a pretty poor effort, just sticks the hand out and comes up with a knock on. I've always said as a fullback, I like your fullback to be moving and on the run, so when the ball goes up, don't watch it before it comes down. Try and get yourself into position. That's what the best fullbacks do. The Slaters, Trebojevic, those guys, they're always on the run. They're always in position in case it does get a bad bounce, and they can get the ball back.
What it means now, the Sharks will start in good field position. Oh, that was a tough pass, Metcalf. Right at the contact zone there, and they've turned it over once again. Those errors that we speak about, this time it's the back rower in Nakora. He thought twice about it. In the end, probably should have taken it, but it was at contact zone.
Yeah, it was, and it was right in the breadbasket, so he should have taken that Nakora, but alarming signs there. Corey Dennis is actually just rushing up past the ball for no reason as Nathan Brown takes his seat on the sideline. He's going to watch some young talent that he might be able to get into the first grade system next year. But Corey Dennis is just coming up past the ball. I think Nathan Brown would be looking for him to be really experienced on that left-hand edge and help that young half there in Lockery.
Isn't it great to see both the NRL coaches here early to sit in the sun and watch some of these youngsters in the Holden Cup? I hope they got the sun cream on down there, particularly Brownie's head.
Well, Nathan Brown need a lot of sunscreen to cover up that melon, but the Knights here, like to see him get to another kick, maybe even try something a little bit different, work an edge over and try and get a repeat set.
Croker plays it just on the halfway line. Look at Birch just putting some pressure on these markers. He's creative out of there. And Nash plays it now, 40 out from the Sharks line. Eddie Tuilotalava, he loves the offload. Now they shift it. That's what Jamie Soward's been asking for. And McIntyre's able to advance the ball. Good defence, desperate defence by Brayley over the top. One marker means they can play some footy. He's kicked to some space here. If he can get it to sit down, it's going to roll end on end, dead in gold.
Well, it was a perfect chance. If they got the offload and went to that left-hand edge, they should have gone short side. They had the numbers there, but they come back to the open. Young Birch kicks it dead, unfortunately, but that's better from the Newcastle Knights. If they're going to cause an upset, they need to play a little bit of footy, not just off the dummy half.
Love to see Jack Johns in there and really dominate and stamp his authority, because that's where he is good. And the Sharks have just pushed the ball back. After a treat, big front row and Ryan King brings it back. 35 out from their own line. Lucky not to get penalised there, the Knights. Sharks know they need some go forward. And Isaac Lumi gets it almost to the halfway line. Brayley out of dummy half. John's just slow up there into back into the defensive line. Certainly some venom with ball in hand, the Sharks. Metcalf stepping back inside. Tuilotalava was slow to shut the door, but eventually he dragged him down, collars him to the ground. Space down the short side. Flanagan's seen that, went there, and Mitch Andrews goes back and snuffs out the danger.
Yeah, great pick up there from Andrews. And Flanagan goes down that short side again. Even though he plays on the left, you can see he really dominates his Sharks attack by going wherever he likes.
Bronco bull riding there at one stage. The defender got caught up. And the Knights into the grind. There's a bloke. Look at the attention on the father. Matty Johns, Jack's father. Geez, in for a big day up here. Old Boys Day, 97 reunion of 20 years. Gary there with him as well. Knights just working their way through the centre third. It's been one of the keys to their success this season. And they've worked hard in that centre third. They've come up with the right results. Birch, plenty of time to kick. What a kick out of dummy half. You've called it, Jamie Soward. Yep. What a kick.
That's a great kick from Birch. Sorry to call it. It was a beautiful up. He come down the short side and got all of it. Great purchase on the ball. They're going to have a quick tap here, the Knights.
He needs to go to the spot, though, Heath Gibbs. His radar was off a little there. That's where the touch judge pointed to, though. Now the Knights have got it. They've got to push up on the football there. Croker's gone to the line on his own. Always pushing himself into the right spot, Matt Croker.
Yeah, they're trying to set themselves up for one big play, so that gives the Sharks time as they go to the left through Johns and Lockery.
Very deep to Lockery, out the back to Cooper. It worked for them last time. Corey Dennis has passed the ball to a Shark, though.
By Cronulla.
Knocked on by Cronulla.
The pass is backwards and then knock on Cronulla.
You see Gavin Reynolds making it really clearly the pass backwards, but it was knocked on by the Sharks.
The difference from when they went down there and scored the first time was they actually attacked from the 50, and by the 50 I mean the goalpost, so they go on either side. Right there they come to this side, which gives the Sharks time to come up and just go out with the ball as it goes out. Like to see him go from 50, maybe get Jack Johns to sweep around late, then Lockery, then Cooper.
No doubt about it, Jack Johns is the key, particularly down here in good ball. Little trick shot down the short side. Mitch Andrews, the big lanky winger, having a crack. Scored plenty of tries this season as well. He's already got 14. He'd love to make it more. Tuilotalava goes centre field. Now they're big setup to the open side for the Knights. Wide ball to Lockery. Johns. Face ball to Dark on a good line. There's an opportunity to keep going. They're short on that side. They go themselves out of dummy half. There's Birch, who went to roll over and put the footy down and held up. Gee, they had good numbers to the right and they keep going, the Knights.
They did, and again, that long shift gives the Sharks time to come up and read it quite comfortably. I think they're going to be more efficient if they just go from the 50 or a post.
Lockery now, looking for Cooper, who needs to get that ball and back himself like he did there. He bounces out of the first tackle. Now it's fifth tackle for the Knights. Lockery runs onto a short pass, a kick in behind him, Big King. Ryan grabs the ball and the danger gone for the Sharks.
Well, they had 3 or 4 shots there, the Newcastle Knights, just couldn't come up with a result at the end, but just seemed a little bit of impatience. They didn't really have a spot they wanted to get to. They just went a long shift. But the Sharks are looking very tired.
Yeah, you can throw a T-Cozy over them at the moment. They're really bunched up. The Knights would certainly get a little bit of excitement out of that, I imagine, because they're competing early. They need to take their opportunities, though.
That's a great run from Luma just to get his side out of trouble there. And they gets himself a penalty. Great work.
I could see where you were going. That you could see he was struggling with it. The Knights were hanging on for grim death.
Coming through front.
And the penalty was on the back of it. When they play this up-tempo, the Sharks in this Holden Cup, they're very hard to match motors with.
Yeah, they are. They play like a first-grade system. You can see that Shane Flanagan's probably had his blueprint put all over this. As they come down this short side, Flanagan.
Good space here for them. Double pump short ball to Lumi. Flanagan really is laying down the instructions now. Good slowing tackle there by Heath Gibbs. Took a bit of the momentum out of the Sharks. Flanagan to Metcalf. Big space, dummies. Back inside to some tired defenders of the Knights. Metcalf backs himself and it's try time.
Happy, mate.
Wow, didn't he? Like he shot out of a cannon then. Tired defenders for the Knights on the inside, and it was sensational by the 5'8".
Yeah, great work from Metcalf there, and you see he goes out to that right-hand side. Both the halves get them together. Flanagan drifts across field, picks up Metcalf. Now just watch this here. Everyone from the inside, Hosking gets stepped, and they just stop moving. They just put their feet in concrete, comes to the fullback, runs straight round Cooper. Great work from young Metcalf. It was nice footwork. Lots of patience, steps back through, and just here, just beats 1, 2, 3, and then takes off. Explosion.
Yeah, that jagged defensive line there, and it was Eddie Tuilotalava. We said earlier he's a bit lazy in shutting that door back on the inside. And then the 5'8", I think the fullback Cooper might have underestimated. A bit deceptive how quick he was. He just took off and didn't get a hand on him in the end.
No, and you're coming up to a danger period for front rowers. 20 minutes in. Todd Lowry's making a change now. I wish he'd made that change a couple of minutes ago. It's unusual to see both front rowers go 20 minutes.
Yep.
Usually the fitter one goes maybe 25, and the sort of pitch hitter or the guy that's out there to enforce might go 15 to 17 minutes. But they pay the price there, the Newcastle Knights. Flanagan will line this up for a 12-6 lead.
It is a good interchange for the Knights about to come on, and Henry Penn is the most experienced player for the Knights in this grade. It's also interesting to see when they bring in the interchange hooker in Luke Huth, because he does add some spark in attack for the Knights.
I don't think they're too far away from bringing Huth on. I think the way the game's going at the moment, I'd give him a little stint before half-time, maybe 10-15 before half-time. Get him on there around the ruck, energise it. You risk a little bit in defence.
Flanagan now lines it up and he sneaks it inside the post and adds the extra 2 points. They take the advantage once again, the Sharks. The interesting player on the bench for the Knights is Braden Musgrave. And it'd be interesting to see when they actually use him. He's a bit of an X-factor for the Knights, and Todd Lowry said to me today he's just not sure where he'll use him.
Well, Todd Lowry probably has to just put all his cards on the table and see what happens. I mean, that's what I'm saying with Huth. Get him on now. You risk a little bit defensively not having a bigger body there. So Metcalf takes this on the full, but you've got to just throw all the eggs in and see what happens. You can't just wait until 10 minutes to go where you might be chasing the game.
I'd love to see you coaching the 20s, John. You'd be throwing all sorts of trick shots at them.
Well, I'm available. I still haven't got a job for next year, Frankie, so unless I'm your right-hand man, your secretary.
There's the CV going out. Sharks move it quickly into the tram lines, and Lumi, the battle he's got with Gibbs is worth the admission fee alone. Yes, John's a great defender, Jack Johns, always shutting down that inside space. Out a dummy half. Just Tui Lungia now takes a scoot. Trying to reset it. They're very good at this, the Sharks. Well, they've been good in season 2017 at completing sets after points, the basic fundamentals. Look at Flanagan now, going to the line, back on the inside. Gets it to King. He's going to kick the big front rower. Not sure if he's got a licence, but it's a beauty. Oh, the Knights have turned it over there, I think. No, they've said Mitch Andrews, if he doesn't go in the end goal, I thought he might have lost it into a Sharks player. It was a knock-on. Referee was in good position to adjudicate. Now it's Corey Dennis.
Well, I'm pretty sure King wouldn't have a kicking licence, but after that he might be applying for one and be on his L's, because it was a beautiful kick. And Andrews, who's been solid all year for this Newcastle Knights side, comes up with a big take and keeps his side pretty much without conceding another try there. That was danger signs for the Newcastle Knights.
Lucky Mitch Andrews had that big long reach. He was able to secure it, so good call by the referees. Croker once again doing the hard yards. John's under some kick pressure. Good purchase on the ball, up into that bright sunshine. Got clean bowled the winger on the far side, Sione Katoa. Blackout from that sun.
Well, Katoa there just lost it way up in the sun. Looked like he was going to swallow that one, and he gets it here. He just gets himself out of position. Doesn't try and make a play at it and loses it. There's no worse feeling when it's up there. Jack Johns, great purchase on that kick after what was a pretty ordinary set from the Newcastle Knights.
That looked like me in the outfield at cricket. I run the wrong way, pretend I couldn't find it, so I didn't drop it.
Don't talk yourself up, Frankie.
No, I'm knocking myself down. Lumi once again putting a good dit in the Knights. And a quick play the ball. Browley gets it to Flanagan. Onto the back rower now. Look at them just playing what's in front of them, the Sharks, and just stretching this Knights defensive line. And back rower Nakora eventually plays it, but he doesn't go to the ground. Metcalf down the short side, a little grubber. And Cooper had to get on his wheels. Did a really good job at the back there, Matt Cooper.
Great take, Matt Cooper gets himself in position. Metcalf snuck down the short side as Andrews brings it out now, but you can see the experience and why the Sharks have dominated this competition. They roll down the park, they get themselves in position, they play what's in front of them. Very dominant performance thus far this year for the Sharks.
And they know when to put the energy into the game. You can see now they can sense a little bit of a lull from the Knights, and their speed of the line defensively has been really good.
Well, it's a difference, and it's no different in first grade. You see a side that's not inside the 8 or the 4, and you see a top 4 side like Melbourne last night. They just punish you every chance they get, and that's what this Sharks side is starting to do.
Lockery stepping back to the inside, a midfield spiralling type bomb. He didn't quite hit. Oh, great take in the end by Afunga Tumunga. I thought it had beaten Bessie in the air. And after his first take, I thought, look out, but he did a great job.
Well, it beat him, but I think the Rat Star might have helped him there as he caught that one coming forward. Great take, and be good for the confidence because he did drop an easy one earlier on. But Afa Tuamanga there gets his side, and this left-hand side for the Sharks is dominating these carries with Tuolangi and Lume.
Yeah, they're certainly putting some good dints in, aren't they, these outside backs for the Sharks. Flanagan just telling his big front rowers to go forward, his forwards to go forward. And they do what the captain asks. Louis now, 25 metres out. Metcalf, inside, outside show with the ball. At the back this time is Afunga Tuamanga. Crossfield, and now he's 10 metres out. Fifth tackle. What option have they got? Flanagan is screaming for the ball too often. He sees some space in front. Goes to the line, went to play out the back, and they've turned it over. Just didn't get quite the setup for that structure that he wanted. He was too off the ruck. Couldn't quite set his runners up where he wanted them.
No, I thought he got himself into position perfectly, but just didn't know what he wanted to do. They had two lead runners, then they switched it to what we call a block runner, where one leads and one goes out the back, but just didn't get it right there, the Sharks.
We spoke about that interchange earlier, Jamie Soward. Now that they're seeing the Knights looking for a little bit of impact off the bench and Butterfield comes on, will give them that. That'll help. Penalty down their own end.
Yeah, they needed that, the Newcastle Knights. They're starting to look tired. But defensively, they've held them out. They've only conceded the 12 points thus far. They need to come up with a good set here, spend some time in the Sharks' half. They haven't been there for a long time.
Oh, it's been a good game of footy. 26 minutes gone.
He's a real talent, this Gibbs. I've watched him play a couple of times. On this right-hand side, he scored a mountain of tries for the Knights, but just big and strong. He's a nephew of Tamana Tahu, is that right?
He is. He's related to Casey, his wife, Tamana's wife, so it's through that bloodline. He lost the footy there. That's disappointing for the Knights. Turnover there.
Yeah, young McIntyre coming up with an error when they're starting to build some pressure. But back to young Gibbs. Used to be nice. The old family luncheons. What do you think, Uncle? How did I play? Tamana's probably showed him the old flick pass he used to get off Gidley. There'd be some fair highlights in that house.
You know, you think back to those days for the Newcastle Knights, and an old boys' day we celebrated here at McDonald Jones Stadium. One of the best combinations the game's ever seen. Gidley onto Tamana Tahu.
Well, what a pleasure it would have been watching Johns to Gidley to Tamana Tahu to score in the corner.
It wasn't when you're playing reserve grade and had to do ball work against them. You couldn't keep up with them. Now it's the Sharks just getting back into their rhythm. Speaking of Johns, Jack just got a little caught up in that tackle. Referee was smart enough to know. The pocket referee picked it up really well there, Josh McGowan. Seen that he was just entangled. Now the Sharks move it across the back, and the Knights have come in. Well read there by Mitch Andrews. He's seen the danger. The numbers for the Sharks come in and shut it down.
Great work from Andrews on the left-hand edge there. And like I said before, Corey Dennis is actually coming up past the ball. This time he holds, and Andrews sees an opportunity to get Afa Tuamanga clean there. And when you come up and in, you have to make that tackle. That's the number one rule. And
just inside him there, you could see Lockery. He had it in reverse, and you know that as an attacking team, if you see a defender retreating, there's opportunity.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why there hasn't been consistency on that left-hand edge. Dennis has been up. Right then he held back, but Andrews went up, so they'll have to fix that or the Sharks will punish them.
The Knights moving. You see Kanoa Gudgeon come in and take some opportunities. He'd probably be playing in the centres if it wasn't that Gibbs and Dennis were going so well. Now they go centre field. Henry Penn puts a bit of venom in it. Good offload as well. Couldn't quite find the mark to Butterfield. Referee says play on. And the interchange front rower now plays it 15 metres out. They got numbers to the short side. Lockery, he's quick. They adjust to the Sharks and make the tackle. Only 3 metres out. Birch at dummy half. Wide pass. It'll bounce to Johns, who does a good job to pick it up. Now he's kicking across field. The runners weren't ready for it, and it's an easy take in the end for the Sharks. Can they get him back in the in goal? Not quite.
Yeah, lack of impatience there. Or lack of patience, sorry, from Jack Johns. It was a rush of blood. He just went to the line. Wasn't the last tackle. Comes up with a kick, didn't tell his chasers, and turns over possession quite cheaply.
Jack's had a syndesmosis injury, and you can see that it's inhibiting his running, because when he is at full fitness, he's able to really straighten up and put a challenge into those defenders.
Well, we called that game together against the Warriors where he was on song and 100% fit, and you can see the difference in his game now as the Sharks find another offload.
Yeah, that was a huge victory by the Knights, and it was in that game he got injured and they just dropped off late. The Sharks, you can't give them too many opportunities. Flanagan just steering the ship back onto its right course. Kicks it downfield. Now Matt Cooper with some space. There's some opportunity here on the edge, a bit of a disjointed kick chase to the left-hand edge. The defenders for the Sharks are able to shut him down. It'll be a penalty, you would have to think.
Well, there's a big chance on this right-hand side for the Knights if he kept skipping, but Gibbs and Gudgeon, they weren't in position to get the ball. They'd actually stopped on the play. Yeah, he gets a penalty now. They spent some time. I'd like to see him come up with maybe 1 or 2 set plays. Don't try and squeeze everything into one play.
Now, you're right. There is an opportunity to run that corridor back on the kick return. Gibbs has got himself into the game now with a tap restart. Maybe they can go infield and come back to this right-hand side and attack. Huth now on the field for the Knights. Lockery back inside to Butterfield. Hit and spin beats the first defender. 25 metres out. Here's Huth. He's creative at a dummy half to Henry Penn. Knights are set up beautifully. 12 metres out. Both sides of the ruck, they've got attack. Croker at the back to Johns. Inside to Cooper. You could hear the defenders. It was telegraphed. Well read there by Wilton. Here's Huth out of dummy half. On to Croker. He wanted to tip the ball onto Henry Penn, who just dropped off. On the ground. Lockery picks it up. Backs himself. On to Cooper. Cooper near the try line. Sharks defenders ever, and he's turned the footy over. Better footy by the Knights. They just need a few more numbers pushing up on the football.
Oh, exactly right, Frankie. Croker goes to the line there looking for a pass, and everyone was just standing back thinking he was going to get tackled. I'd be just pushing up a little bit outside, maybe get my other front rower and get Huth inside there or Lockery out the back. Cooper's so close. Knocks it on, but better football from the Newcastle Knights. They need to defend. There's 8 minutes to go. They can't afford to let another try in and let this Sharks side have their own way.
There's 2 ways to look at it for the Knights here. You just throw everything at it. You play conservative and try and live with them. That's not going to come up with a victory for them. They just got to play some ad-lib what's in front of them and throw plenty at the Sharks.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why Croker's going to the line looking for a tip on there, because you can get on a smaller fella. You know, you might get on Brayley as there's a break through the middle here by the Sharks. They're just coming out of trouble too easy at the moment.
Yeah, that was a great run in behind the ruck, the tight spot they call it. Well, the interchange player, Romanus, on the field in his second game of Holden Cup. Now Lumi straightens it up. He's been a real powerhouse for them with ball in hand.
Oh, he's been a handful on this left-hand side for the Sharks. You can see Jack Johns and young Gibbs, they're struggling to get him down every time. They're handling him at the moment. He's made some breaks, but they're handling him at the moment.
Good vision here from Flanagan coming down the short side for a kick. He could see the Knights defenders were tired. The ball bouncing, stayed in field, and they've knocked it on here, the Knights. He's a smart footballer, Flanagan. He could see a couple of the Knights defenders on the short side had hands on hips. I think his first thought was to kick it into touch, but he wasn't too disappointed.
Yeah, he wanted it to go into touch, but it just gets a little bounce here at the end. I wasn't sure if it didn't touch the line. Oh, that's touched the line, Frankie.
Oh, Drew Outram there on the sideline. He was the centre referee yesterday. Not too often he misses those.
No, he's right there. Unfortunately missed that one, but it was Flanagan's competitiveness, wasn't it? He just chased his kick really hard, wanted to get a result, and he did. And danger signs for the Knights.
Certainly is, because the Sharks have feet in the scrum 10 metres out. Metcalf moves it quickly. Sione Katoa. He's a try-scoring machine, Katoa. He loves it down here in good ball. Eventually, Andrews dragged him down 5 metres out. They want to get back centre field. Ramanos now. And James has got it. He's still going, only a couple of metres out. Flanagan is screaming for the ball on the left-hand side. Brayley gets it to him quickly. Once again, they tried to set up that block. They've come off the lead of Wilton. They've ruled a knock on. He's just not getting through the line quick enough there, Wilton. And the runner at the back not deep enough.
No, what's happened is they're a little bit too wide, Frankie. So right now, Flanagan's doing his job, but the lead runner's just missing the kick, so he's not getting there in time. And the block runner out the back, or the out the back runner's just not getting in the right position. You'd like to see them go hard in at the ball right here and have the outside runner just giving the halfback some time to get the ball. It's just all too flat and too rushed from the Sharks.
Just needs a bit more arc in that, so there's a vision for him, so he's got a space to hit.
Yeah, and I think if the lead runner just just goes on that inside line a little bit more, not to be too technical, but inside line, and gives Flanagan a chance to be able to hit both.
He's turned the football over here, Butterfield. Good venom in defence there by the Sharks. They've put the pressure on.
Well, this is why they're the #1 side in this competition. This is why they've dominated. They know when to turn the screws, whether it's in defence or attack. And you see there, it was Falua comes up with a big shot, knock on from Butterfield. We'll have to defend their line again, the Knights.
Yeah, history tells you when you give the Sharks this many opportunities down here, they normally come up with points. It'll be a good indicator for the Knights if they can defend it. Gee, there's some space on them. Well, the blind side, it's 30-odd metres, but they go to the open. This time they've got it right. Out the back, the fullback, Bessie with a good ball on the outside. In the end, well, it was the right idea that didn't hit the man, Afunga Tumunga.
No advantage.
Maybe should have just backed himself.
Well, that's disappointing. John Morris won't be happy with that at all. Afunga Tumunga makes half a break there, gets past Gibbs, and just no patience. Tries to rush the ball, one-handed offload, loose. You can see all the heads from the Cronulla Sharks go down. And this is what happens when you dominate a competition, as the Sharks have. Sometimes you rock into a game thinking, we'll just put the boots on and it's going to be 40 points. But this Newcastle Knights side have a lot to play for today. They're hanging in there at the moment. 12-6 would be a pretty fair result going into half-time.
Wouldn't it? What? They'd be stoked at 12-6, and if they can get down the other end and come up with points, they'd be ecstatic. Butterfield looking to atone from that mistake earlier. Good run. If he can get a quick play of the ball, it'll be exactly what they ordered. Look at Huth there, just showing it inside and out. Once again, Henry Penn charges in the line with plenty of aggression. He's still on his feet. Quick play of the ball means Huth can advantage, and he puts a real dent in them too. He's crafty out of dummy half. Australian schoolboy hooker. The ball just slightly behind Johns. Had to stop and take it. Now it's Curtis Dark. Oh, that has to be a penalty.
Easy.
It's dangerous there. It was Josh Carr who come in underneath. He'll get reviewed, you would imagine, too. Look at Curtis Dark. He even had time to tell Matt Croker where to run. Croker bounced off the first. A tackle out the back by Afunga Tumunga saved the day. They got to go left. Lockery, the pass hits the ground. Dennis now picks it up. And the big centre steps back inside. That really needed to hit the hands. And the Knights come up with points with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Stop start now for Butterfield. There is an opportunity just on the left-hand side of the ruck for the Knights. They're set up wide to the open. Long pass to Johns. On to Dark. Dark out the back to Cooper. Needs more space. He's still going, Matt Cooper. Penalty for the Knights.
We're inside 10.
It's just not fluent, the long shift for Newcastle Knights. They'd like to be playing off a post and get Jack Johns going at the line. By the time they wait for the long pass, the Sharks have just slid off. They've got numbers every time. You saw there, they had it easily at the back when Cooper got the ball.
I think the little interchange with the forwards around the ruck, the 2 and 3 in the bed type play, just little passes. Very deep again to Johns on the right. This time he goes back across the ruck. They call for forward. Play on for Lockery. He was in a phone booth turning inside and out. Now they're 2 metres out. Face ball to Penn under pressure. Wilton come up quickly to wrap him up. Once again, really deep to the right-hand side. The Knights, Huth, little short pass now to Croker. Can he back his way over the line? He gets an offload. It'll be try time for Huth. Luke Huth dived over the line. Something from nothing. We spoke about the Knights could get down the other end with points. It'll be 12 all at half-time, it looks like.
Oh, great work from Croker. He's easily been their best player. Played the whole half. You see here, he's got 4 players on him in the end. Gets a little offload. And that man you spoke about, Huth, the Australian schoolboys hooker, comes up with a beautiful little try just before half-time, doing what all good hookers should do. Sniffing around, waits for an offload, takes off, reaches out. And that's great work from the Newcastle Knights. They've really earned that one.
He's a beauty, Matt Croker. He had 4 players on him. You wouldn't have thought he could get that away. And they just, a couple of times we've said, if they would have pushed up on him, he's now commanding a lot of attention. Little short plays off his hip.
Oh, you're 100% right. And any time you can do that as Huth gets his first Holden Cup try, anytime a forward holds it out in front, they're always dangerous going to the line. They always bring in defenders, and Croker's doing that with ease. As Dark will line this one up next to the post, but it just creates some indecision from the forwards in the middle because they do get tired, and you're going to just tip on maybe for a quick play the ball. We saw Flanagan off the back of an interchange from the forward score a try, and right there, Huth picks one up.
He sure did. He's every bit of football. He's just a pure footballer, Luke Hughes. He's always pushing into the right spots. Curtis Dark, he's got the kicking duties today. He's 2 from 2. We've got a locked-up scoreboard at 12 all, right on the stroke of half-time. Good team score before half-time, Jamie.
They do, and I'm just going back to that mistake from Afatuamanga. They had spent some time down here, the Sharks, 4 or 5 sets. The Knights are under pressure with silly errors, and then Afatuamanga off a scrum gets the ball, throws a one-handed lazy offload, turns around, and the Knights have punished them. They've hung in there, defended their own line. They're going to earn this 12-all tie at half-time.
No doubt about it, and John Morris spoke about the errors from last week and the penalties and those discipline errors. When you lead the comp, you shouldn't make them. That's half-time, 12 all.
Jack John's been quiet this first half, done a lot of defensive work on this side with Lume obviously steaming into him, but look for him to have big influence on this second half if the Knights are to win.
Dad Matthew's in the crowd, and so's Uncle Andrew. They're getting ready to celebrate 20 years since the famous 1997 grand final victory for the Knights on Old Boys. And the kick's up into the bright sunshine. It played a bit of a factor in the first half. Josh Carr steaming into the Knights' defensive line. The first to score points in the second half will be really key. Sharks getting the first opportunity with ball in hand. Ralmanis makes it to the 30-metre line. Once again, we'd like to shout out to all the fathers on Father's Day. Hopefully you've had a nice breakfast with the family and you tuned into Fox League for an afternoon of footy. The centre field, a big run here. Real Denton and the winger. He's a sizable winger to Alungi. Eventually, they can't put him to the ground. He's pushing, shoving them. He's like a bouncer at the door. Brayley out of dummy half. It comes off Dark. The Knights will be disappointed because he's got it back again to Alungi. Still splitting them. Wow, he's like Robocop at the moment. He plays at 12 metres out. Wonderful opportunity early in the second half for the Sharks. Metcalf moves it on to Carr. Started off the interchange bench. Good tackle over the top by Sam McIntyre. In fact, it's hurt him. McIntyre calling for the referee. A little twist there in the tackle. He's got to his feet now, he's okay. You want to just pinch the back a little bit. Good ball at the back, Flanagan to Metcalf. Quick hands, beautiful. The Knights come up quickly through Kanoa Gudgeon. Loomy it was the hands of Afunga Tumanga that was almost too good for the Knights, but they defended well. Flanagan now turns the ball back inside to Ralmanis. James pumping the legs. Taken out underneath by Butterfield and over the top, Youth. They go back down the short side, a wide pass to Flanagan. Little play at the back to Wilton. Offload again, it come off the Knights, it'll be 6 to go. Yeah, the pocket referee picked that one up.
It was unlucky there, the Newcastle Knights, but they're handling the Sharks quite easily at the moment. You saw there Flanagan, that's all too early. Down that left-hand side, a nice little pass. Tried to get the offload away here. Wilton thought it was knocked back and play on.
Yeah, they scramble well, the Knights. And, you know, Jack Johns, we talk about how good he is with ball in hand. Defensively, he just puts himself in the right spot. They'll be under pressure now, the Knights.
Yeah, don't let him come again.
I thought they might have knocked that one on.
Yeah, hang on, Kyle.
The referee, this time it's the pocket referee, Josh McGowan, controlling the scrum. There's some space on the short side for the Sharks. They come open to Metcalf. Dummying to the line. Out the back to Afunga Tumanga. He's a handful from here, Bessie. Back infield, a big don't argue on Matt Croker. Then the cavalry arrived to knock him over. Eventually he's back centre field, right in front of the stick, set up on both sides. Brayley, wide to Flanagan. They've got him stripped here. Langy to the woods of the line. Loomy, I should say, he's got over the line.
Held up.
Great defence by the Knights. Is that Johns again?
Yeah, Jack Johns, what a tackle on his line. He sees the season's on the line for the Knights, and just look at this. Gets under the ball, spins him over. Oh, that's outstanding. Matthew would be very happy sitting in the stands watching that from Jack.
Absolutely he would. Sharks are pretty quick back up into the defensive line of the Knights. Ralmanis. Quick play the ball too means Brayley can play some footy in behind the ruck. They might take a look at this though. Referee's going to point to the spot. I thought he might have got it pulled up there. Of course, no video referee in the Holden Cup, but looked like one of the Knights defenders might have been a little bit impeded. Falur it was that crashed over.
Yeah, Farlua too big, too strong there, but that's disappointing as we see a replay. Well, that's a shepherd in anyone's book there. Unfortunately for the Knights, there is no review, but that's disappointing because you see on the right-hand edge, Jack Johns puts his body on the line, comes up with a try saver, and just there, the Knights defence found wanting, and Farlua crashes over next to the post.
Yeah, Luke Huth in particular didn't have a fair opportunity to make that defence. Hard enough for a little fella on the line against a big front rower. But the opportunity taken by the Sharks, they're first to strike back in the second half. Plenty of rump stake there for Eddie Farlua as well. Good little trick shot.
Yeah, it was a nice little play there around the ruck. Back to where the traffic was, and he's just too big there for Huth, who's been impressive coming off the bench as Flanagan will slot this one over. It'll be 18-12. The danger sign for the Knights now is not to concede a penalty this set and let the Sharks roll up and score another easy one, because you'd think if they can get some more possession, the Sharks, they'll run away with this. It's an important 5 minutes coming up for the Knights.
Yeah, it's a very good point in this grade. The completions after points is so important, and I'm sure the coaches say it ad nauseum. It's enough in the NRL, let alone the Holden Cup. It's the ball high and adds the extra 2 points, adding to that tally once again this season. Kyle Flanagan, he's a calm kid.
He is a calm kid. He directs his team around very well. He plays both sides of the ruck, as we've mentioned. He's getting right through, and you see on screen there, the runner for the Sharks is no other than Daniel Holdsworth.
Great DJ Holdsworth. Classiest players in the game. He's huge boot. Through the Dragon system, originally from Western Australia as a kid. Seen him at the Sharks. The Knights too have got a pretty impressive blue shirt. Here's on the sideline, speaking impressive, the coach Shane Flanagan. He lives every moment of the Holden Cup games.
He does, doesn't he? He's got a big clash this afternoon against a young Newcastle Knights side who finished the season off well. But Lume makes a strong carry. And Jack Johns, you hear the contact, just right down, textbook tackle.
And there's a lot of discussion whether he'll end up in the back row, Jack Johns, particularly for that defensive line. Have a look at this run once again. I think it's the winger in Josh Tuolangi. Well, he's come out with all sorts of fire in the second half. Now they move it quickly to the tram lines. And it's Nakora. And the junior Kiwi plays it on the fifth tackle. Down the short side's Flanagan. Brayley smart enough to put a kick in behind. Well positioned, Matt Cooper holds his feet as well and gets a couple of metres out from his own line.
Great work, Matt Cooper there in position, kept moving. Dennis, the outside backs need to get busy. You can see Lume. It's Langi for the Sharks, getting plenty of metres. The outside backs for the Knights need to get themselves involved in the game.
They sure do. They've got to come into it. They've got to play a little bit shallower than they're playing at the moment. They're playing a bit deep off that +1 there from Johns to Dark. Able to advance the ball with some metres. That will help.
Yeah, too often or not we see that in a young system or teams that are still learning their trade to be first graders. They just wait for the next play. And the teams that are the best and score, you see the Sharks, they push up on every play. They're waiting for an offload. Flanagan sniffing around Brayley. The Knights just a little bit deep at the moment.
A little bit disjointed there from the restart. I think Heath Gibbs would have liked to have seen a runner. Now Johns comes in. It needs to poke their head up into that line a little bit and attract some defenders, the ball players for the Knights. Now they're centre field through Butterfield, 20 metres out on play 2. Back across the ruck, a beautiful ball from Lockery. This time Johns plays up to the line. Cooper on Flanagan. Good battle in itself. He was wrapped up 2 metres out. Johns wants the ball and gets it. Moves it a long pass to Lockery. Lockery's dangerous from this far out. He's quick, beats a couple of defenders. Back to Huth. On now to Croker towards the try line. Have they been able to hold him up?
Time off. Got held up.
Held up, we're saying. In fact,
play the ball out here.
Yeah, it is Croker. I wasn't sure it was Butterfield or Croker under there. Just had a bit of trouble picking up the number plate. But it is Croker. Flanagan, what an effort on the big front row to hold him up, the little halfback.
Yeah, desperation from Flanagan. But what about Croker? He's played first 40 minutes, no break, comes out this afternoon, puts in another 8 minutes after half-time as Johns takes the line on.
He does take it on, flicks it back to Henry Penn. Good to see Johns taking that line on. Now they're just trying to reset it through McIntyre. Just on the left side, on the fifth tackle. Need a repeat set of 6. Huth comes down the short side. Little kick in behind a Lockery, and they kick it dead in goal, the Sharks. Gee, that was a good option there by Lockery.
Oh, it was a great kick from Lockery. Corey Dennis pushes over Brayley, who was slotted in at fullback. Smart play. I think it's Alpha Tuamanga over there. It's gone down with the knee injury, but Brayley just covering in.
The referee's telling Corey Dennis no need for that. He pushed him to Maitland. He didn't need that push. Now this, often see that these days. Someone injured as the dropouts need. I think this is more genuine. I'm not suggesting he's not injured. In fact, he looks like he's in a quite a deal of pain, the fullback here in Bessie Afunga Tumanga.
Yeah, they're calling for the doctor to come out and have a look. He'd gone down that whole set, and I watched it as Huth went to the line. That's why it was smart from Brayley. He realised that the fullback was out of position. There was no one there. And like all good hookers do, just covering up.
It's a talented family. Just watching here in the replay box, you just...
Oh, no.
That's horrible. That's not good at all. There's no one anywhere near in any of the space, generally means that's a serious knee injury.
Yeah, I remember Andrew Johns doing his knee at Parramatta.
Yep.
Carrying the ball, just stepped off, I think it was the left knee. And right then you knew, when no one was around him, you knew it was quite serious. And I've been around a long time to know that when no one's around you, Frankie, it's not good news.
No, it's not. And when they put those arms out straight to the side and call for that medicab, not good. Such a shame for the youngster, heading into what is an exciting finals time. Gets his opportunity at fullback today. Because he replaced William Kennedy, who's the son of Bubba Kennedy, who played at the Tigers.
Yes.
Yeah, beauty. Played till he was about 60, I think. Bubba, he's probably still playing somewhere out there in the bush. One of the most talented players I've ever played with, Bubba Kennedy. And Jesse Raymond out of the side as well. These are the type of players. And I think they might have pushed up into the Intra-Super Premiership. I know a number of the Knights have done that. Cogger playing first grade, and of course Sam Stone in first grade, but without Starling and Nick Meaney and those type of players. Brodie Jones is another one. So that pathway, it's great to see both teams, both clubs using those pathways for their players.
Yeah, definitely, especially with no under-20s competition next year. A lot of these guys may not have the opportunity to play in the Intra-Super Premiership. They'll have to earn their stripes and maybe play in a local grade, but you see now Matthew Johns looking down.
Yeah. Sitting there, I wonder if he's contemplating more the old boys' day or his son's football, and his wife there, Trish, with him. It's always a great family affair for the Johnses. They have celebrated this young fella in Jack, his football, and as I mentioned earlier, get an opportunity, it seems, to progress through, whether it's a Sydney club or here in Newcastle.
Well, I think he's going into, you spoke about what position he's going to play in the back row. He's a perfect 13. He defends well, he can fit in there in the middle, and he's got the ball-playing talents of his father, so I think any club will be on the lookout for a nice working 13, because some of those teams, they've gone away from that style. They don't have the ball-playing 13. They just want their 7 and 6 to touch it. So to be able to have a Jack Johns in your side who can come up with that skill would be very handy.
He's a bit bigger body than Matty. He's got a bit of growing still to do in that body. He's just getting a nice reception here from the crowd. What a day to be on the hill here at McDonald Jones Stadium. There's not too many stadiums left with a hill on it.
No. I think you've got Cogra and Penrith. Other than that, big blocker reminded me of Leichhardt.
Leichhardt, he's in the back block and nearly give us one across the back of the neck for forgetting Leichhardt.
He won't give me one, Frankie. He's got to look after his halves.
Gives us the thumb up blocker. Yeah, feeling there for Bessie Afunga Tumanga.
This is an important set for Newcastle. You don't have to try and score this set, but you just have to build some pressure, maybe look for a repeat set.
Butterfield wants to set it up for the Knights, steaming onto it. It's a bit of a pocket rocket himself. He makes it at 29 metres out on the first tackle. Troker. He has been the standout for the Knights, as Jamie Soward said a number of times. Quick play of the ball. Deep once again to Johns because he wants to play across the ruck. It's come off the feet there of Locker. In fact, the referee says knocked on.
Yes, so the play, I like the play from the Newcastle Knights, but the key is you can't go from long to long. So right there, Jack Johns gets the ball off a long pass, and it's just too far to be able to stretch it back across the ruck, especially in the windy conditions that are picking up down there on ground level. So you'd like to see short to long, so Jack Johns get in tight and then maybe take a step or two and really rip it back across the Lockery, because they had the Sharks stretched there, but execution was off.
We spoke about a number of times now that short interchange between the forwards off Croker and the likes for the Knights. That's where the success looks to be.
Yeah, 100%, but they just haven't got the message down there. I think, if I was coaching, I'd be saying, boys, push up, let's try and string 1 or 2 passes and then double up with Croker going at him the next time with another pass. But they're just sort of waiting for the game, you know, hopefully to get a chance down there, but they're wasting the chance and time's getting away for the Knights.
Sharks, 2 great runs to start this set of 6. First it was Ua, and then on the back of that, Nakora. Now the big winger, Tuolangi. They're already well and truly to the Knights side of the halfway line. And now the Sharks progressing downfield. This will be danger times because the offload's gone back to Sione Katoa. Oh, he got hit by the pop-up sprinkler as he went across field and felled. Still on the attack, though, the Sharks. Metcalf back inside to Flanagan, that combination, and once again, they've forced the football.
Well, there was no need for that. It was a beautiful play between the halves. Metcalf and Flanagan coming from the left-hand side again. Beautiful inside ball, and you see Flanagan, courageous, punches through the line. Gets a call. Yeah, doesn't need to offload that one. Let off for the Knights. They were coming for him, the Sharks.
So much to play for here, Jamie. The Knights win today. They're into the finals. I mean, the Sharks also want to get some form because they lost last week against the Roosters. They'll get a penalty here. I would imagine the Sharks broke too early. Well, the referee hasn't.
It's gone past the second row there, so it actually has to be, you have to actually put your foot on it before it goes past the second row to be able to get a penalty. That's why it was blown.
And there you go, Jamie Sowd. He's also a referee. We like that. Very talented. So much for the Knights to play for, Jamie. They've got to win today.
Yeah, they do have to win today, and they seem like they've gone into a bit of a lull. We see a tip on there from Croker, who still hasn't had a break today. He's played enormous minutes. I think it might be a chance to bring Birchley and Houthon together to be trying to create some ruck awareness. As you see now, that's a penalty.
Well done. He's so smart, this youngster, out of dummy half. Good interchange before it by the Knights. Lockery, a good inside ball. And you can see they're now keen to play that up tempo, really take it to the Sharks.
Yeah, they need to. I'd like to see Jack Johns get involved this set, maybe go for a run, try and test the back row over there in Carr.
He's sending out the messages, and Corey Dennis, using his experience, wants to get a quick play the ball for the Knights on the first tackle. They're 15 metres out from the Sharks line. McIntyre. He knocked that football on there. He just tried to play it too quickly, Sam McIntyre.
Yeah, it's the second time this afternoon the Newcastle Knights have been on the attack, and unfortunately for young McIntyre, yeah, that's a poor play the ball. The ball carrier has to have some responsibility when getting up and playing the ball like that. You can't always look for a penalty. And right there, young McIntyre comes up with a crucial mistake. They were lined out to the right. Unfortunately, they're going to have to defend again.
People wonder why coaches lose it in the coach's box. I can only imagine you, James Soward, in that coach's box at the moment. Just those basic errors. Both coaches have spoken about it before the game. That subplot alone is interesting. Both boys from Scone, the thoroughbreds, coming through the Knights systems, playing a lot of footy with and against each other. And the Sharks reset the satellite on track. They're 40 metres out from their own line. A good game of footy, still plenty to play. With so much time left in the Holden Cup, anything can happen. Sharks over the Knights side of the halfway line. Inside ball. The last try scorer in Falua. Good offload back to Metcalf. Now a good straighten here by the other back rower in Nakora. Knights defence just looking a little bit tired. Numbers to the left-hand side. The Sharks in attack. And play the percentages through Metcalf, who's taken the Knights on. He beats them back on the inside and forced the pass. Now it's a turnover for the Knights.
It was nice play from Metcalf, but you'd like to see it a ruck earlier. Needs to get to a kick there and have some completions. The Sharks, a real lack of patience this second half. Come up with a few errors. Flanagan a couple of sets ago now. Metcalf as Huth takes off. And Johns. Well, they had numbers there but didn't push up. The game is on the line. Your season's on the line, Newcastle.
And Matt Cooper needs to come up from fullback and be in this game. Dark with a cutout pass. It was intercepted there by Lumi. Hadn't been able to hit the chest of Kanoa Gudgeon, he was into space.
Lumi's had a massive afternoon, 15 hit-ups, and right there, just puts himself in position. I think this might be a chance for the Knights to even throw Gibbs over the other side, get him on the ball for a set. He's too strong to be just sitting out there waiting for the ball.
They've got to bring that right-hand side of attack into the game, the Knights. Gibbs and Gudgeon, and also Cooper out the back. Andrews now as he went across field. In fact, that's Musgrove on the field. He's been on there for a few minutes.
This is your X Factor, Frankie. All the commentators are sitting at home commentating to themselves, wondering whether Frank Barrett has any idea about rugby league. You will soon see, because he's your X Factor.
Henry Penn now's charged into them. 35 metres out. They're set up to go to that right-hand side for the Knights. McIntyre's gone in tight now. Lockree's come in one side and out the other. Passes the ball to Cooper, and it's try time for the Knights. Well, the combination got there eventually with Cooper. He pushed up on that footy. Lockree was the one who decided to put himself into the game and stamp his approval.
Well, Lockree's been threatening all afternoon. He's had a couple of half breaks. It was a beautiful play. He just takes on, accelerates through a hole. Brayley comes up with a miss. And you spoke about Cooper before the game. He has to be on the ball, and he pops up the right time there. And we're about to have an 18-point all-ball game here with 24 to go. It's great work from Cooper. He's been impressive this afternoon, the young fullback.
Yeah, he certainly has been. He's a real confidence player we've spoken about a number of times. Lockree the same. He started the season on fire against the Warriors. They moved him into the halves because he's normally a fullback. Very dangerous with ball in hand. Curtis Dark, he's 3 from 3. We've got a real ball game on here now, Jamie Soward.
We do. It'll be important for Newcastle to just complete this set and not try and score points or rush a pass or a rush of blood to the head where they come up with an error. They just need to come down here, maybe even Huth come out and kick from dummy half and get a real energetic chase and just try and remind Cronulla that they're coming for him and put him in a grind. Because the body language of the Sharks at the moment looks like they just want to get to next week and not worry about today.
Well, as we know, there is no more today if the Knights can't win today, and if they can, they'll jump into 7th position. There'll be a few teams sitting around. You would imagine they're together, potentially.
Yeah, the South Sydney boys will be together watching it somewhere, but you can see John Morris sees the urgency. He's put his starters back on in Vasquez.
Stay on!
And Magoulas.
Just to throw in a little bit more, if it's a draw, the Knights will go to 30 points, equal with Manly and South, but their points differential is the worst of the 3.
Yeah, Jack Johns would probably know that.
Pretty simple. They just must
have to win.
Yep. You said it earlier, win or go home.
Yeah, that's it. They need to win today. And that's why that man Croker, who's still out there, what an amazing effort. Played 57 minutes thus far without a break. But they'll need to complete the next couple of sets, otherwise the Sharks might punish him.
I tell you what, I hope you haven't done the commentator's curse on him, because he's holding the shoulder in the background. I don't like to put too much pressure on youngsters, but I can see him having a lot of time in first grade. Say as this bloke, Youth out of dummy half. Quick play the ball. Knights marching downfield. McIntyre to Johns. Johns on to Dark. He's coming straight off there. Croker, that's a real blow for the Knights as Hosking comes back on. Now they're centre field. Johns to Lockree. There's space on the edge here for them. Hosking now, first touch back on the field. And
Leave it there, 13.
Changeover.
Thanks, give him the ball.
Decided to run it and chance the arm.
Pick it up, 11.
Looking down here at the pitches on the sideline, Croker, he grabbed that shoulder straight away, and that does not look good.
No, it doesn't look good at all. They'll assess him and see if he can get back out there, but they needed to get to a kick there, the Newcastle Knights. You see, just solid contact from the Sharks. He's picked up a shoulder.
Yeah, Billy Magoulas back on field. He certainly let him know he was there.
Lumi, 16 hit-ups. Easily the Sharks leader in that category.
Been a handful all day. Him and the winger also. Tuolangi. Jack Johns this time might have hit heads here with the big front rower in Ryan King.
Yeah, Johns has got up to his feet quite quickly. He's got a hard melon, so... But the Knights, they just needed to be able to complete that set. Not try and run it, and that's when you're up by 12 and everything's going right, as we see a replay there.
Tell you what, the old noggin copped a good hit there. You'd think that both these players will be assessed by the orange shirt, the trainers. The HIA would be a factor here. If it comes now, with 22 minutes left to go...
Well, John's got up to his feet straight away, so he should be okay. The trainer will have to go out and ask him a few questions, which is precautionary, but the number 8 King, he looks like he'll have to come from the field, but Johns will be okay.
He was smart there, Jack Johns. He went to the trainer, and the trainer gave the little thumbs up, and he got out of there as quick as he can back to his 3 in from the right side adjustable defender. Yeah, you're right, Jamie. The Ryan King, trainer there, pointing to the head, saying it's a HIA. A few of the boys supporting nice little mows out there. His is a wispy little one.
Yeah, I can see Matty Russell's trying to grow one. He's been growing it from last year, but hasn't had any success.
Gee, the game's in the balance here with 22 minutes to go. Oh, yep. Look, Matty's just consoling Trish, saying it's okay. I'll be home on Tuesday after the old boys' day. That's what he just said.
Well, it's promising signs for Matty Johns, isn't it? He doesn't have any sunnies on, so he's obviously carrying himself all right. Usually when the sunnies are on, that means it's been a long night, early morning.
Had a great day yesterday, I believe, but he's ready to go today. So are the Sharks now. Look at this run back in field. Nakora, the junior Kiwi, putting some pressure on the Knights' defensive line. Fifth tackle. They'll be looking for a good option. They've decided to run it. Katoa gets it to the outside. Well read by Gibbs. They're still going to get a kick in. Dangerous in the end. Oh, that was brave from Cooper. And he got a knock on the head as well.
Is he all right there? Are you all right?
He certainly was
Wait there.
happy to put his body in where you wouldn't put your boot.
What a take from Cooper. The game's on the line there. Comes forward to the ball. The outside backs for the Knights. This is Corey Dennis, their first grader, who needs to get in there and have a carry, not wait for the game to come to him.
Yeah, the right edge for attack for the Knights have been the ones here in this set. Two great plays. Kanoa Gudgeon, and then on the back of it, his centre partner in Heath Gibbs. Hosking, he knows only one way, and that's forward. Three great plays for the Knights in this set of 6. Play the ball a little slow. They wanted to move it. Now Cooper skips to the outside. Every time he gets the ball with any space, he's dangerous, Matt Cooper. Fifth tackle now. They're in the corner a little bit, so it'll be a pressure kick for Lockery. Puts it up in the air. It's bobbling around. It's going to bounce. The Knights will get a chance. Oh, that was 4 Childers for the Sharks.
Well, they don't want any bar of that every time it goes up the Sharks. Luma just waited for it to bounce there. It was a nice kick from Lockery. They're coming for him, the Knights.
They sure are. They've got it locked up, 18 all. The next to score will be so important. They've trailed at times in this game, the Knights. They haven't been in front. They'd like to be.
Well, they've hung in there. And what about this left-hand side?
Tuolungi.
The Sharks, Tuolungi's come on. He's had another hit up. They've combined for 29 hit-ups between them.
They have nightmares about him tomorrow, the Knights. Tuolungi. Good tackle again by Johns on Flanagan. Always scheming at the defensive line, Kyle Flanagan. That's the last tackle. His kick went straight down the throat there of the fullback Cooper. He's got some space to work with now. With Flanagan playing the football, it meant that Billy Magoulis had to make the kick, and it wasn't one of the better ones. So the Knights get a chance now to roll it out of their own end through Mitch Andrews.
Yeah, great carry from Andrews there, and you can see Corey Dennis pushing up. He needs to get his hands on the ball. As your man Musgroves goes forward. Maybe an early kick from the Knights just to turn the screws, make the Sharks come out off their own line.
There's a Cessnock Goanna. A history out there, the Goeys. Dark now. Runs nice lines, Curtis Dark. He thought of the offload. It was only the pocket referee to pass it to. Out of dummy half is Hugh. Some space on the edge to Kanoa Gudgeon. Good defence there by the Sharks. Loomy. Been good both in attack and defence. Ooh, low pass for John, so he's under some kick pressure. He gets the bomb away. Up into the sunshine. Knights coming through. Takes it. Lockery backs himself and he'll score for the Knights. Oh, that was brilliant by Hayden Lockery. He's a try scorer, Jamie.
Oh, he's a competitor, Freaky. He goes up here and jumps for the ball and comes down with a beautiful play. The Sharks back 3. They didn't want to come to that one, and they pay the price. Lockery goes up. Beautiful play from the little halfback. Could have passed, but says, I'll take this one underneath the sticks. And the Knights, they're in front.
They can sniff September finals footy.
They can, and it's going to be crucial this next 5 minutes what they do. You can see now Katoa just didn't get himself in position to catch the ball at all. And Lockery, who's been scheming all afternoon, set up a try to make it level, and comes up there and scores his 13th for the season. It's about to be 24-18 with 17 to go. South Sydney nervous.
Nervous. Just like John Morris would be up there, the coach of the Shark. Curtis Dark probably could have taken some more time, but he wants to keep the roll going on here for the Knights. But as a coach, with 17 and a half minutes to go, you're in front. What's your instruction if you're Todd Lowry?
The instruction right now is just to pass off the deck for young Burst. Just push up around the ruck, push up in numbers both sides, and we're going to kick play 3, play 4. Not going to worry about a 40-20. If it comes, that's okay, but we just want to push up, get down there and make this Shark side know that we're happy to defend our way to a victory.
Let's look at this points differential now. When we started this game, the Sharks were plus 486. The Knights were minus 27. 500 points different in the points differential. Just goes to show it doesn't matter on a day like today, because the Knights come out, they wanted to compete, and they've done that.
Yeah, and John Morris will be reminding his troops next week when they go into the finals. Hopefully for him, not off the back of 2 losses, but it can happen to anyone on their day.
Sam McIntyre going back playing tight now, and it's made a big dramatic impact on the Knights as well. They need to push forward, just set in the blocks. Then Eddie Tuilotalava back on the field. That injury to Matt Croker has come at a pivotal time for the Knights. They'd love to have him back out the back end of this game, and they've turned it over through Curtis Dark.
Turns here, all the way.
Uncompleted sets after points is an issue for the Knights.
Yep, 1-0.
Oh, this coaching caper. Jamie, what's it doing to Todd Lowry?
Get square.
Well, poor old Todd. He'll be riding the roller coaster of emotions at the moment, but his team need to defend their line here. Their season's on the line.
Falua's got the ball, and he's only 18 metres out. They're centre field. The back, Metcalf onto Flanagan. That combination's a beauty. Sione Katoa knocked over in good defence by Heath Gibbs. Luke Jerd on the field for the Sharks in the dummy half position. Now Magoulas goes forward. And the skipper gets an offload too. Back to Jerd. Good tackle one-on-one by Jack Johns. Shut it down, ball and all. And screaming, just want to spread the defence out. Jerd's gone himself, and he might have scored. You can hear them screaming, only one marker, and he's caught him. Oh, the Knights, they just adjusting, retreating on the defensive line, the markers. But it was really the turnover that hurt them, bringing it out off their own line.
Yeah, young Kyle Flanagan got off his line there, senses the urgency. And Jerd just goes short side, catches Gibbs napping for a second. Johns goes one way, guesses the wrong way, and unfortunately, they pay the price, the Knights. Kyle Flanagan will have a kick 10 metres in on that far touchline to tie this game.
Gibbs needed to come in, needed to get off that line, take the couple of steps and meet him as he picked the ball up. What you can hear in the audio there, the Knights were saying one marker at defence, one marker from that line, trying to spread across their line. The problem with that is, if you do anticipate which way it was going, what Jack Johns did, leaves you short.
Yeah, most teams in this competition and the NRL inside that 5 to 7 metres will defend with one marker so they can get an extra player in the line. But right there, you saw Jack Johns guess one way and then gets caught napping the other way. So it's probably best just to hold back and retreat. As Kyle Flanagan lines this up, you'd have to think he's going to slot this one over.
Well, if you wanted somebody to kick this goal, it's Kyle Flanagan. He headed into today's game with 332 points. The best in the comp prior to that was Pat Templeton in 2013 with 286. And the most ever in the comp, including finals, was 320. So if you want somebody to be kicking this goal to level it up, it's Kyle Flanagan.
He's got a nice, smooth kicking style as well. Not too much effort to it.
He kicked 130 goals before he started today, and he's added another one to lock it up with 13 and a half minutes to go. What a ball game. What a game of footy.
Yeah, what a game of footy indeed. We turned up today thinking maybe the Sharks might roll in and do the job, but this Newcastle Knights side have fought valiantly for with 13 minutes to go for 67 minutes. So it's going to be important how they respond here. They cannot give a penalty away this set.
This is a crucial set of 6 for both sides. For the Sharks, they need to complete. And for the Knights, they must defend. They love a turnover.
It's only fitting on Old Boys Day that probably Jack Johns kicks a field goal to win it.
Well, he did it last week.
Wouldn't that be right?
He did it last week against the Raiders. They were behind in the 75th minute. Was that man Johns? Wouldn't that be some sort of way to celebrate Old Boys Day for Newcastle? Billy Magoulas has got something to say about it as he goes forward. There's a scoot out of dummy half. He splits them open too, Luke Jerd. Still going. Good run by the interchange hooker. 22 metres out. Flanagan onto Metcalf. Just calming the ship now. You can see Flanagan is pointing directions everywhere. He's asked his front rower to go forward, and he's able to do that for them. Vasquez. He split someone there for the Knights. I think it might be Hosking who's in trouble.
Last tackle.
He got up. No, it's Huth, the little hooker.
You're right there. You're right.
And Luke Huth.
Wait there. Wait there. Wait there.
Looks like he's okay.
Last tackle. Last.
Last tackle here for the Sharks. Metcalf onto Flanagan. They're going to run the ball here. Magoulas a short pass. Great defence by the Knights.
Last tackle changeover.
Gudgeon's come in. He's hurt himself, but he's saved the day for the Knights. Gibbs is down on the ground.
You're up, bud.
Don't go early.
They're scrambling to save their season, the Knights. What a tackle. Comes in. Stops the play.
That right-hand side defence for the Knights, Johns, Gibbs and Gudgeon, has been terrific all season.
Yeah, they've answered the questions all afternoon. They've only had one little slip up there when Jerd slipped over from dummy half, but that keeps them in the game, the Knights.
It sure does. They must get out of their own end, and this will help because Hughes split them open. She's got support on the inside to Cooper. Oh, and he might have come off the Shark, did it? He's playing on here. I think he thinks that's come off the Sharks.
That was play on. That's come off his shoulder, so the Sharks...
Touched by Sharks, but that went backwards. Then touched by Newcastle, which went forward.
No.
That's pivotal, Jamie.
I got it, mate.
Gavin Reynolds has said, look at him split them open.
You watch it here. He's going to get a touch. I don't think it comes off Cooper's shoulder. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it's play on for the
That's play
Knights.
on. That's a try for the Knights.
The crowd get a little bit of feedback for the referee.
Well, they're not the only one giving the feedback. Big Blocker's giving his feedback here. We're going to have to settle him down before the big game.
As we look at this replay again, Hughes, such a great little footballer. It's come off the shoulder. Cooper's smart enough to play on because he knew it come off his shoulder.
And so did Flanagan, because you look how he competes. He knows that it's play on. Usually that's a tell sign. Unfortunately for the referee, you don't get a chance to send that one up to the bunker.
No, they don't. All the Knights can do now is turn around and defend, and the Sharks, with 10.5 to go, are trying to do something. About 24 all, the scoreboard.
Well, it'll be a cruel way to end it if it ends in a draw for the Knights. They're for and against.
That's right.
It's just not good enough, so they definitely need to win.
Yeah, just resetting that for them to go into the finals. They must win. A draw will see them finish on 30 points, but in 9th position because of their points differential. Sharks are trying to put it beyond doubt. Flanagan at the back to Metcalf, who dummies because the Knights, Corey Dennis had come up and got in that attacking line there of the Sharks. Bit of confusion at dummy half. Flanagan now, a little chip kick over the top. Pressure here for the Knights. Knocked back inside. Here's a chance for the Knights. Oh, he passed it back inside to Lockery, and he got absolutely poleaxed as he passed it.
What a play from Huth.
He's just going to chance his hand. Corey Dennis with the ball now.
Well, they've all got to push up, the Knights. I know they're tired, but Jack Johns needs to push up on this advantage line. He gets the ball now.
The big front rower into dummy half for a scoop. Flat pass from Dark onto Gibbs. The Knights are tired, and so are the Sharks with 9.5 to go. Trying to get their way into the finals. Tuilotalava with the ball to Hosking. Onto McIntyre. And McIntyre looking for a supporter. You snipe it on the side. 20 minutes to go. Can the Knights come up with some points? Musgrave, can he be this X factor? Bouncing, still going. He's got the ball to offload. The Knights have tipped it on. They need to push up. Hoskins has got it. Stepping back inside. Great tackle. Try saver there from Lumi. Eddie Tuilotalava scored. He reached out and put it down for the Knights. Oh, what a game of footy. What a way to make it into the finals. That's what they're trying to do, 28-24 with a kick to come.
Well, I wasn't sure Tuilotalava took the right option, but he has. He comes up with a crucial 4-pointer. It was great work from the Knights. They pushed up their chance of hand. Huth, Lockery, we thought Hosking was going to score. A great tackle at the back there from Katoa. And it's a risky play when your front rower picks up the ball on the last tackle, but he comes up trumps, scores a try, and puts his Newcastle Knights side 4 in front. with about 7 minutes to go after he kicks this goal, hopefully dark. They've earned that. They've pushed up on the ball, they've earned that.
I asked the coach, Todd Lowry, before, are you giving Eddie another start today? He said, yep, he's just going to be our energy, the one that's going to take it to these Sharks. When you're a half or 5'8" standing off the ruck on the fifth tackle and the front rower decides to go himself, what are you saying?
Well, I can tell you right now, honestly, you'd be, no, great work, Eddie. Yes, Eddie. Good on you, mate.
Exactly. Well, he's come up with the play, the clutch play. Curtis Dark, he's kicked every goal today, stepping in with Jack Johns being unavailable due to that syndesmosis injury.
Matty breathing a lot more easier at the moment. Trish has got the sunnies off.
Yeah, there's plenty of feeling down there in the Johns family. What's he thinking there, Jamie?
I think he's just happy with everything that's going on. He's just sitting back enjoying the footy. Trish looks more nervous than what Matt does.
He's got the old boy shirt on, Matt. He's ready to go. What a day, Jamie. We've spoken about it. The sun's shining. It's Father's Day, Old Boys Day. Healthy crowd coming in. Imagine if they can pull off this win here and then go on in the NRL next.
Well, they have to complete this set, the Knights. Remember last time they scored to make it level, they came up with a crucial error on that right edge. So nice simple set, get a kick away, force the Sharks to come off their own line.
Would have loved to have seen Eddie Tuilotalava carry that in two hands then. Curtis Dark, he did the turnover last time. This time he puts it out of the contact zone. Makes good metres. Trying to get a penalty. That would have been smart. Ooh, a little trick shot out of dummy half. Hosking spinning around. He's got a bit more footwork than his old man. The mule, he makes it just short of the halfway line. Lockery now. On to Braden Musgrave, who makes it over the halfway line. This is the set of 6 they needed so far. Need to finish with a kick. Lockery scheming still, backs himself, splits him open, Hayden Lockery, support on the inside to Matt Cooper! And the Knights are heading towards the finals in the Holden Cup. That combination, Lockery to Cooper, has been sensational.
Lockery has taken the game by the scruff of the neck this second half. And Matt Cooper, well, we spoke about how much of a confidence player he is and how heavily involved he had to be today if they were going to win. But look at Lockery here, just takes on the line. And Cooper, like every great fullback does, pushing up the middle and seals a final spot in Newcastle on Old Boys Day for this NYC team, the Newcastle Knights. They'll play on next week. South Sydney go home. What a performance by the Knights against this juggernaut Shark side.
Absolutely sensational. What a setup for it. What a theatre. You couldn't have wanted anybody. There's a great crowd in here. You know, Hayden Lockery's story's a beauty. You know, at the beginning of the year, he was a fullback and Todd wasn't sure where he's going to play him, and he played him in halfback against the Warriors. Remembering the Warriors' history in Holden Cup, they've been so powerful. They've had a disappointing season this year, but he carved them up. They scored 40-odd points in the first half. And Lockery's greatest asset is his speed and his willingness to take on the line.
Well, he's courageous. He's always put himself in. He scored a great try off of Jack John's kick. He's been heavily involved. This second half, he has dominated the Cronulla Sharks as Dark will put this over.
He's had a day with the boot too. He hasn't missed. Look at Hayden Lockery. He's still nice and calm, Jamie. That's what you want. Barking a few instructions. You never say the game's done in Holden Cup. You'd like to think it's down towards the end of the stretch for the Knights now.
Yeah, well, I think the Sharks are going to go short here.
You'd have to go short. They've gone to the harder side to do the short kick-off. Gee, I tell you what, it's a good strike. Corey Dennis has let it go and they've picked it up. Might have been knocked on, though. Wow, I thought Corey Dennis needed to compete for that football.
These are some of the things today in Corey Dennis's game that will have Nathan Brown wanting him to work on. Right there, you need to put your body in position to compete for it, or at least talk and get a catcher behind you if you're going to be a blocker.
Come off the arm of Clayton Ewer there.
It's been a great performance by the Newcastle Knights. Would have been easy for him today to come up against his side. As you said, 486 points in the plus the Sharks side are. They've dominated everyone this year, but they've competed this Knights side. They've hung in there at times during the game, Frankie, where things weren't going their way.
Yeah, no, they have. They've toughed it out, and it's been one of their real strengths this season. Don't forget last week, 75th minute, they were down. They get back in it, and a field goal by Jack Johns at the end keeps them alive. Oh, Curtis Dark, and then he did turn the football over. He's had a juggle, and he gets a penalty. Tell you what, I don't know what he's doing to Todd Lowry's heart rate. Trying to put tricks in there.
Bit of a luxury here for both sides. You've got Daniel Holdsworth running the water for the Sharks and Ben Farrer, both first graders, running the water for the Knights. So you'd have to think the instructions are becoming thick and fast for this Knights side just to complete this set, possibly even a field goal.
You spoke about a field goal from a Johns to seal the match. Well, the Knights just need to go and complete these sets, and they'll come up with a big upset victory over the benchmark of the competition in Holden Cup, the Sharks. They'll be minor premiers by a long way, but it's the Knights, everything to play for, and they've come with their A-grade game in this second half. Gibbs, who's had limited opportunities, but you can see the power and the strength of him. Been wonderful defensively today. Out of dummy half, having a crack is the little hooker in Hughes. Luke Hughes plays the ball, a metre out. Johns wants it deep and wide. Oh, a little knock on there by Heath Gibbs. He's a bit unlucky because he got pushed. Oh, it is a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, the penalty comes. As he went to pick the ball up, his own man playing the ball got pushed into him.
Yeah, it's very lucky for the Knights. They're going to take the 2 just to ice this game, but you think back to where Cooper got the ball and hit him on the shoulder, and they scored underneath the post, and we thought they were hard done by. Just lucky that it worked out for the Knights. They're going to ice this game. Dark will line this one up. And now we get ready for the main meals of the afternoon.
Ooh, Sunday ticket coming up with Jess Yates and the team. And then the Knights up against the Sharks in NRL. Any tip for us?
Well, old boys' day, but I think the Sharks will be too strong for this Newcastle side who have competed towards the back end of this year. The Dragons will be too strong for the Dogs, and no Kieran Foran or Sean Johnson for the Warriors. Might be hard to beat Tedesco and Woods at Leichhardt. I think the Warriors might beat them tonight.
You've sent Blocker mad in the back of the box.
Send him mad. He's always mad, big Blocker. Dark.
Pushed it out. This might be a tactic for them, is it? Just to push it in the in goal and try and trap them in there. Ua does well. Now here comes the Knights. Might have been a tactic.
Well, I don't think so. If it's a tactic, you at least want to kick it dead. There's only 57 seconds to go. They will win this game, the Newcastle Knights, and they go on to play next week.
They certainly do. What a way to do it, to knock off the benchmark of the competition at home. Last home game on Old Boys Day, Men of League Day, Father's Day. It's everything here in Newcastle. Sharks still want to finish with a bit of flair. Katoa, he's had to go back to fullback since Afunga Tumunga come in with that unfortunate knee injury. Now they move it to the far tram line, the Sharks. You see, not a lot of attack to finish off. They succumb to this, but Flanagan always challenging, always a little chip kick. And how fitting it is that Hayden Lockridge is there to get the ball, and a penalty on the back of it.
Great work from Lockridge. He reads the game so well, puts himself in position. They'll tap and kick this one out, and they'll play on in September, the Newcastle Knights.
Absolutely, they will. I'm just going to take the tap and go forward with it, Curtis Dark. Happy to concede in the tackle. That's full time. The Knights will head into finals. Victory 36 points to 24 over the Cronulla Sharks.